African Americans, I think we bring a special warmth and full-heartedness and full-bodiedness and spirit. I think we bring a welcoming spirit. We're willing to include everyone who walks in.
The faith of African American Catholics is a sign of our vitality and our endurance, because not everything that was encountered by African Americans on our journey toward the Catholic Church was positive.
The biggest impact I think African American Catholics have had on the church is our resilience.
We've been here since the founding of these dioceses in America. Some have been here before the founding of the diocese in America. So the impact is there.
If you know that you are God's child, no one can tear you down.
The rich heritage of African American Catholics is a profound testament to their enduring faith, resilience, and contributions to both the church and society. At the Black Canadian Mission Office, we are fully committed to standing with these communities, ensuring their legacy continues to flourish. We provide essential support to help nurture their spiritual and educational needs, recognizing the unique challenges they face. Our work honors their past, celebrates their present, and empowers their future as we strive to uphold the values of faith and justice.
In the dark holds of ships, shackled and torn from their homelands, millions of Africans were thrust into the unforgiving world of the transatlantic slave trade. They arrived on these shores in chains, their humanity denied, yet within them burned an indomitable spirit.
They came here not by choice. Most of them would settle in the South because they were in bondage.
In the beginnings of the slave trade going back to the 16th century, the societal condemnation of blackness or color pushed African Americans to the sidelines.
In the fields and plantations of the South, where African Americans' hands toiled under the yoke of oppression, they encountered the Catholic faith. In the grip of bondage, they quietly claimed this faith as their own, finding in it the promise of redemption and the hope of salvation.
If their owners were Catholic, they became Catholic. So even early on, we had an impact in the church.
There were Black Catholics who endured the cruel fate of slavery, but stayed the course of their religious heritage in light of some of the awful, inhuman treatment that they received. We as African Americans have a unique quality of endurance.
African American Catholicism, we were broken at one time. We had our culture stripped from us. Everything that we had taken from us, we had to rebuild on our own.
Though their captors often failed to embody the true spirit of their creed, the enslaved found in its teachings a light that no chain could bind, a faith that would carry them forward, unbroken and unbowed. Across generations and in every corner of this land, countless African American Catholics have lived lives of profound holiness, weaving their strength, resilience, and devotion into the very fabric of the church. As slavery waned in the North, free African Americans began to build vibrant communities, while in the South, free people of color navigated a landscape of persistent prejudice and limited freedoms. In the early 19th century, this faith blossomed as African American Catholics founded their own religious orders.
Mother Mary Lang is a native of the Caribbean, but she came to Baltimore in the 1820s. Slavery is certainly the law of the land. She establishes a house in what is today Fells Point.
She wanted to be a religious sister, but none of the religious orders would accept a Black woman. And so she and two friends of hers decided they were going to start their own order, the Oblate Sisters of Providence. They started a school and took in girls. They taught them, of course, how to read and write, all of the things that were required for children to learn in school.
Mother Lang, who became the superior of this small community, opened up St. Francis Academy. It is a flourishing school. It is packed to the gills, and it is continuing Mother Mary Lang's original vision of educating young people.
I've been an Oblate sister for 55 years. I was taught by the Oblate sisters, and because of that, I came to know who they were as women of God. In our beginning years, and even to this day, education has been our main focus in ministry.
What makes us unique and special is we are the oldest Catholic school in the Archdiocese of Baltimore. We are the oldest Catholic school founded in the state of Maryland and still operating. And we are also the oldest historically African American educational institution in the United States.
You're not just a number here. Your experience is going to be, you're not going to get it at any other school. They're going to make sure you get to where you want to be.
The funding from the Black and Indian Missions program really helps to enhance in every way, shape, and form our campus ministry program and the faith formation of our scholars.
The Black and Indian Missions Office is a blessing. Some schools that don't have this type of program and that opportunity won't allow them to be open with their faith. I'm not scared to be open with what I believe in.
In 1842, while the South held its breath between past and future, Venerable Henriette DeLille founded the Sisters of the Holy Family in New Orleans.
New Orleans was not like the other dioceses in the South. She could not only establish an order of sisters, but also create a community of service. So I think she was called and gathered women among her who were motivated by that charism.
The Sisters of the Holy Family have been significant in my life, growing up in New Orleans. I've been visible and active in educating so many of us.
I was raised by several of the Sisters of the Holy Family. And I'll do anything for those women if they ask, in a heartbeat. But when we look at the legacy of Venerable Mother Henriette DeLille, their impact is still felt, from the education to the nursing to even just the presence of these sisters wherever they are.
Pierre Toussaint, born into slavery in Haiti in 1766 and brought to New York City, would rise above the chains of his past.
Pierre Toussaint was a slave of some people that lived in Haiti. And when the rebellion began and the slaves were beginning to kill people, the wife and the husband went to New York and they took him with them. And so Pierre took care of the wife until she died, and then she set him free. He was a cosmetologist. The money that he received, he was able to buy the freedom of his then girlfriend and brought her to the United States. They got married. They adopted 2 children that had been orphaned in Haiti. He went to daily mass and was a very reverent and religious man.
He was Catholic Charities all by himself, and he did all of that while not being able to worship in the church that he was donating to.
Venerable Pierre Toussaint's life was a testament to the power of faith in action. Toussaint used his wealth to support those in need, paying for the education of orphan children, caring for the sick during cholera outbreaks, and secretly giving money to struggling families. He also played a crucial role in funding and helping to build St. Patrick's Old Cathedral in New York. His life was marked by a deep humility and a tireless commitment to serving others.
Born into slavery in Missouri in the mid-19th century, Julia Greeley later became known as Denver's Angel of Charity. After gaining her freedom, she moved to Denver, where despite her own poverty, she devoted her life to helping those in need.
She lived on a plantation in Missouri. She was freed by the Missouri Emancipation. When she came to Colorado, she took care of people's children, she cooked, she cleaned houses. Pretty typical of what an enslaved person would be asked to do. Julia was always helping everyone. And it didn't matter your race or salary or status, anything like that. She had a little red wagon, and she would go around and beg for things for other people. So she would carry wood or coal or clothes or whatever that person needed. And because she walked the streets, she would hear these things about what people needed. She went to church every day, had Mass every day, and she also became a secular Franciscan. The current state of Julia's cause is that she's servant of God. We need 1 miracle for her to be blessed and 2 miracles for her to be a saint.
In the years following the Civil War and the abolition of slavery, education emerged as a beacon of hope for African Americans. In the late 19th century and early 20th century, St. Catherine Drexel devoted her wealth to establish the Sisters of the Blessed Sacrament.
St. Catherine Drexel was born in Philadelphia. She was born to a very wealthy family. Catherine became very involved prior to becoming a religious, giving wealth and resources for Native American education in the Southwest. Then one of her trips to Rome, she met with Pope Leo and asked him to send missionaries to help the Indians. The Pope's answer was, "Why don't you yourself become a missionary?" Catherine Drexel founded the Sisters of the Blessed Sacrament for colored and Indian people, and that's our full canonical title. When her father died, revenues from the inheritance were dedicated to starting schools in the Southwest, a lot in the rural South, Louisiana.
Mother Catherine Drexel, who is the benefactor of Xavier University, played a role in founding the university, providing the financial support to create the school, to build the buildings and hire staff.
We as people of color were not allowed to go to Loyola, but St. Catherine created Xavier University so that African Americans could go get an education. When St. John Paul II visited Xavier, showed the importance of the Black Catholic journey. A saint thought it was important on his itinerary to stop at this sacred place. For the Pope to understand that and send that message to the world is important.
The journey of African American clergy in the Catholic Church is one marked by extraordinary perseverance and deep faith. Venerable Augustus Tolton, who became the first African American priest in 1886, stands as a powerful symbol of this legacy.
Augustus Tolton was a former slave. He was born in 1854. His father had escaped in order to join the Union Army. The man who owned his mother had died without a will, and when she saw all of these dealers coming onto the property, she decided to escape in the middle of the night with her 3 children. Luckily, some people directed her towards to other points of the Underground Railroad where she could get to a town called Quincy. And that's where his story begins.
They had to move several times, and he wanted very badly to be a priest. There was no seminary that would accept a colored boy. And so he ended up having to go to Europe, went to Rome, and became a priest. And he thought he was going to be sent to someplace in Africa, but the Pope said to him, "No, I want you to go back to your country and minister to the colored people there."
Father Augustus Tolton was the first Black priest in America. He couldn't get any support from his brother priests, being the only Black priest in his diocese.
The bishop got tired of hearing the complaints, and Tolton was called in several times and warned he had to leave town. And he searched around looking for other bishops that would take him. A Southern gentleman who happened to be Archbishop of Chicago, Patrick Fian, invited him to come to Chicago to work with a fledgling group of Black Catholics, about 30 in number, who were worshiping in the basement of a church downtown Chicago. This was 1889. After about a year and a half, the Archbishop asked him to lay plans to build a church for black Catholics, which he later termed St. Monica. So he started laying plans for that. Catherine Drexel helped him with a lot of money to help build the church, but it was never completed by the time he died.
When I was an auxiliary bishop in Chicago, the parish of St. Elizabeth's, which was the successor parish of St. Monica, there was an elderly lady, and she told me that she, as a youngster, as a child, had gone to the funeral of Augustine Tolton. She talked about how well attended it was and what a sad moment it was because this holy African-American priest had been taken from them.
Lay associations formed by African Americans have significantly influenced the church. The Knights of Peter Claver, founded in 1909, provided a platform for advocacy, community support, and the promotion of social justice.
I'm executive director of the Knights of Peter Claver, and we operate in 35 dioceses throughout the country. The Knights of Peter Claver was formed in 1909 by 4 Josephite priests and 3 laymen. There were no organizations such as the Knights of Peter Claver that would admit African Americans at the time, and there was a need to have something for men that still kept them rooted in their Catholic faith. So the Josephites decided to help create one for African Americans.
After the Second Vatican Council, Black Catholics began to weave their cultural heritage into their faith, enriching the church's expression. In this vibrant period, Sister Thea Bowman emerged as a pioneering African American nun, educator, and advocate for cultural inclusion.
Sister Thea Bowman, oh my goodness, superstar, rock star, a saint of our own time.
Sister Thea Bowman was born in 1937 in Yazoo City, Mississippi, and raised in the city of Canton. Originally a Protestant, she converted to Catholicism at the age of 9, inspired by Catholic missionaries and the values they embodied. Her deep faith and passion for education led her to join the Franciscan Sisters of Perpetual Adoration at just 15 years old, leaving Mississippi for Wisconsin to fully embrace her calling.
I would love to speak about the work that she did at Xavier to establish the Institute of Black Catholic Studies. The Institute of Black Catholic Studies has not only done liturgical and pastoral work in educating many, but also she helped the church integrate the liturgical experience and musical experience of the African American community, especially in the South, within the liturgy of the larger church.
What does it mean to be black in the church and society? I want to tell you about the church. Sometimes like an eagle in the air. Still I'm a long way, I'm a long way, I'm a long way. Can you hear me, church? Will you help me, church? I'm a long way from home.
The Institute for Black Catholic Studies was founded in 1980. There was a need for a place that would prepare those who either work in the Black Catholic community or are themselves Black Catholics. So the Black and Indian Mission supports the Institute for Black Catholic Studies financially through scholarships. The monies that they give provide the opportunity to train and educate future leaders in the church.
Without the Black and Indian Mission, I wouldn't be able to be a student at the Institute. Being able to come and be not only educated by, but also in the presence of other Black Catholics and people interested in ministry to African Americans is exciting. It's something that's very attractive. All 3 years that I've been a part of this institute, it's been of a great help to me, so I'm very grateful.
The Black Catholic Congress also has Baltimore roots. So in 1889, Daniel Rudd convened the first Black Catholic Congress. It spoke about the importance of Catholic education, spoke about the need for evangelization. The National Black Catholic Congress eventually came to be convened every 5 years.
Congress is the family reunion. You don't go to every birthday party. I get that. But everybody's supposed to come to the family reunion. My heart leapt when they said there were 3,000 people here this morning.
It's important that we have these kinds of events that can bring everybody together and say, oh my goodness, there is what is called a Black Catholic Church, And that's important to see and experience and encourages the faith.
Here at the National Black Catholic Congress and events such as this, we are able to be our authentic selves, and we're joyful seeing each other, being with each other, and just sharing that joy and pain from wherever we're coming from, but being re-energized here in this space to go back to do what we need to do in our home diocese.
Since 1907, the Catholic Negro American Mission Board had been a crucial force in building the Catholic Church within African American communities. Born out of a need to support mission work that faced overwhelming challenges in a segregated society, the board provided critical resources to Black parishes, schools, and religious education programs across the United States.
The first leader of the board was Father John E. Burke, who served as the executive director from its inception. His leadership was instrumental in shaping the direction and focus of the board's mission, ensuring that African American Catholics had the necessary support to build and sustain their communities. The board was governed by several prominent bishops who were deeply committed to the cause. Cardinal James Gibbons of Baltimore, a leading figure in the American Catholic Church, played a crucial role in its formation. Other influential bishops included Archbishop John Ireland of St. Paul, known for his advocacy of educational and social justice, and Archbishop Patrick Finn of Chicago, who was involved in various efforts to support the church's mission work among marginalized communities.
1980, the Archbishop of New York requested that the Bureau and Monsignor Lenz would take over administration of the Catholic Negro American Mission League. Monsignor Lenz coined the term Black and Indian Mission Office. And from that point forward then, they were administering really 3 offices with 1 staff.
After merging with the Black and Indian Mission Office in 1980, the Catholic Negro American Mission Board continued its vital work under the leadership of Monsignor Paul Lenz, followed by Father Wayne Pacey, and now under my direction.
In all 3 of the dioceses that I've been privileged to serve, we've been recipients of grants. We've tried to use it as effectively and as generously and successfully as we could to advance the evangelization of the African American community.
The Black and Indian Mission Office does an awful lot. Many of these schools, without the grants, would not be able to sustain themselves.
The legacy of the Black and Indian Mission Office will always be at the end the people that they serve and the people that they support and the programs that they strengthen and make happen.
We are so blessed to have the Black and Indian Mission Office. The work that they do helps Black Catholics continue to be evangelized, but to also evangelize those around us, and that's the power of that office.
Our work today continues the legacy that started over 100 years ago, providing essential resources to foster faith and education in communities that need it most. One of the key initiatives we support is the National Black Catholic Congress, which plays a vital role in empowering Black Catholics across the country.
The rich faith life of African American Catholics, expressed in communities across the country today, is deeply nourished by the legacy of those who have come before. Figures like Venerable Pierre Toussaint, Venerable Henriette DeLisle, Venerable Father Augustus Tolton, Venerable Mother Mary Lang, and servants of God Julia Greeley and Sister Thea Bowman. Their lives of unwavering faith and service have laid a strong foundation, inspiring generations and continuing to guide the spirit journey of African American Catholics today.
When we look at African Americans and our experience with racism, we're still working to overcome. There is work that still needs to be done. Even though those laws may not be there on the books anymore, the attitude and treatment is still there. And so that's the sin that we're still working to overcome.
I think the main way that African Americans have impacted the Catholic Church is by not giving up and not leaving. I was tempted in my 20s to think about leaving the church, but what kept me was how much I would miss Eucharist. Then I realized my identity as a Catholic, and it gives you the staying power.
We have a lot to be angry for, but we have examples of people who didn't take the path of anger and anguish. They took the path of forgiveness and light, so that they could be an example to those who are coming behind them. The 6 of them are our superheroes.
The African American Catholic community brings an abundance of gifts. They have a tremendous sense of community. They know one another. They love one another. They have a deep-seated reverence for our elders, a deeper appreciation of the communion of saints. And thirdly, they have an understandable sensitivity to issues of injustice. They're prophetic in reminding the rest of us that we don't sit still, that we have to rise up and get to work.